and welcome back to the Be First podcast. Today's guest, we've got professional boxer, the captain, Finn James. How are we, lad?
Oh, yeah, I'm all good. I just come down here to his podcast. Yeah, looking forward to it. I'm a bit covering from yesterday, Saturday's trials and tribulations, but I'm here, I'm in one piece, and I'm happy to be down here today.
That's good to hear. In one piece, lad. Showing your war wounds, perfect, lads. You can't go swimming and not get wet, as they say, lad, innit?
No, yeah, this is what you expect, don't you? I had a nosebleed and I had a cut, but I was actually doing really well and run 6 of 8 rounds. So sometimes the war wounds don't always paint the picture of what happened. But
no, exactly.
It's nice to come out. So usually, I've never had too many injuries, which I'm very blessed with. I broke my nose years back and I had a cut on my head. So some people have come off this a little bit worse and haven't been doing it that long. Yeah,
definitely. So you obviously before you turned professional, you were an amateur. You had all 60 amateur bouts. So to understand how you got there, if you can take us back to the start if you can, where you grew up and how you got into sport that you love.
Yeah, I grew up in Tilbury, in Thurrock, and then moved to Chadwell, and it's a really small area, and the Chadwell St Mary Boxing Club, that's there, it's a really small club. And when I went there, honestly, every mirror was smashed. The ring, you might have fell through it. We used to sit on lockers around the ring. They didn't have like chairs or stools or anything, but the ring was really high, so you sit on these lockers. And some nights they hadn't like paid the rent or something, so we had to put kids through the window to open up from the inside. It was run off of a generator the whole time I was there, but it was just boxing with your mates. And I boxed with a few kids that I went to school with and like, other kids that you see knocking about in the area. So like, for me, I wasn't a very confident kid. I was little and skinny and didn't really have too much go, but I enjoyed going down there and getting to fight your mates and learning how to do that. And it kind of just, I cried for probably like, I started when I was 8. I probably cried till I was 10 every day just because I had to get taken down there. But my dad would take me back. And then it just became a force of habit of enjoying it. And I was very lucky to meet great friends from that age that don't even box no more, but we've been friends forever. And you know, if you ever box and you ever sparred with people, you get to know that person so well. So all the people that I do know now, I know them like the back of my hand because we've shared a very intimate experience with each other, sparring rounds and rounds and rounds and training rounds and rounds. So yeah, Chadwell St Mary, absolute. How they trained champions was impressive because there was good champions out there at the time. But we had no funding, no facilities, nothing, really, compared to places I'd been to after.
Sometimes you get that though, don't you? Like proper, like spit and sawdust sort of gym. Yeah, that's where champions are usually made.
Yeah, we was hard.
Yeah.
Like, you used to stand there, this was inside, we'd be skipping, and like hard wooden floor, so you can just hear, and he'd be smoking a fag, and he'd have a Red Bull and a Savloy in the same hand. That was inside the gym, and we'd just be skipping, boom, 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 boom. But it was never this was back when parents weren't in the gym.
Weren't as involved as they are today.
This was parents, you've dropped your kid off, you leave.
Yeah.
This was how we was. So you didn't have people saying, I don't think that's right, I don't think my mum would be trained like that. And we didn't know any difference because we were kids, so we just done that. I used to get dropped, if you live around that area, I remember being about 9 and a half, they put us in the minibus, they dropped us to Gray's station, which is probably a run at 9, you're about an hour. And they dropped us there, and it was get back to the gym. That was the training session, was run back to the gym. And you only knew your way back if you didn't know the area, if you could stick with the kid in front. So the kids, national champions and the older lads, they would go off first, and then it would just be a long queue of all the other boxers, about 30 of us, trying to make our way up to the gym. Half the time, we wouldn't even get back.
What did you pick it up?
Back.
You pick it up?
Well, I'd just be my dad would just be standing at the gym in my bag. And then a few stragglers would be like, we've been lost for the last half an hour trying to run back to the gym. Yeah, it was a crazy time, but it was sick. Like, it was no other way I would have wanted to learn lessons and grow up and experience stuff.
Oh, perfect. So, Chadwell St Mary's, did you have any bouts for them?
No, I must have had about 10 skills bats.
Oh,
and
okay.
gym shows, million gym shows,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
of that. Like every weekend, go to a gym show, and then I got to 10, got my card, had loads of skills bats, and then just my first fight, I moved to Billericay in Wickford, and that was the complete opposite of Chadwell. They had got the best gym I'd ever seen at the time, 5 rings, Olympic size one. So now I had the equipment to actually really have a go at this.
Yeah.
Club may have not had the better quality than Chadwell at the time, but there was diamonds in the rough that with the equipment we had, and we all had a good bit of funding. It was an expensive membership. Like, people don't realise that of amateurs. You're losing money every month because your mum and dad are paying subs to the club. Some places it's £100 for the year, some places it's 50 quid a month. Like, people don't see that cost when they just think you're doing amateur boxing, you're going down to the local community and it don't cost nothing. It costs for the parents so much money. My dad had to drive me to Billericay and Wickford 3 times a week after work when he probably didn't want to, and then pay my subs. And come in here and buy my boxing gear when I needed him to.
Yeah, boxing is it's not a cheap sport. It's certainly an expensive sport.
No.
What made you go to Billericay then? From
It was literally just the facilities.
Yeah.
Like, I was kind of getting into it and I was getting good, and we didn't know anything. And my dad said, like, "Oh, I've seen this gym. Chadwell was getting so busy as well, so I wasn't going to get a lot of time given to me because there was other kids there was to worry about, which is fair enough. Like, it is what it is at the time." And they had this brilliant gym they just opened up, so he said, "Let's go down there and try it out. If you don't like it, you can come at Chadwell, but let's go try it out." And yeah, I was down there for, I done all my schoolboys out of there. I done first year of junior, so 4 years I boxed there for, and I done all right. What then I started to realise was equipment wasn't everything, coaching was everything, and that's kind of the lessons that I picked up along the way of moving through clubs. I only had been to 3 amateur clubs, but the change I still use lessons that I learned from when I was at other places of what I liked, but it was good to find new experiences, and Billericay was a good club. They was great to me. George Liddard was down there when I was down there. He was a year older than me. He won the 3 Nations when he was younger and done well in the schoolboys. Me and him got to the final of championships when we was there a lot together, because he was a year older, so we would kind of go through, but I'd be the younger year. And we got through to the finals a few times. He won a few times. I actually only ever won my national title towards the back end when I was at West Ham. So I'd been to about 2 national finals when I was at Billericay, and then went to 2 semi-finals. So I medalled every year in the national competition, but there was something missing. It was, I needed that hardness back. So then that's when I went to West Ham, where I kind of actually made a bit of a name and a bit of a style for my own self and become my own thing, rather than being like just a kid at a club that everyone moves on about and onto the next, you know? So
at Billericay, you had your first proper bout. Obviously, you had quite a lot of skills bouts at Chapel St Mary. So how did that differ, if any, when you had a proper bout with your hand being raised versus the skills?
Yeah, I think I just had so many. I'm so competitive that when I was doing a skill bout or a gym show, I was trying to win anyway.
Yeah.
So you do whatever you was doing, and your dad would be going to you would have won that. If that was about like when your coach is going to you would have won that. So in your head, you don't want them to come out and go, "Oh, you done all right," or "You need to do this, you need to do that." Because if I tell you that, you probably haven't done great. So it wasn't that I was seeking praise, but it was like I knew if I had done well, I would have won. I would have got this. So you're always looking to get that prize. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know both kids get a trophy, but I want to be the one that people was going, "Yeah, he done a proper job on him there," rather than the one that everyone's got to put their hand around and try and like not let his confidence shatter on the floor, because it is at that age, it is like everything. So when I started moving into having bats, it wasn't a massive thing. I was trying to win anyway.
Yeah.
And I lost my second fight. I had one fight, and then I went straight into the schoolboys, the minors, as my second fight, and I lost in an Eastern Counties final.
Who was that to? Do you remember?
Harry Kirkham. It's a throwback name. He would have come in here.
Harry Kirkham.
He was a good boy. He beat me, funnily enough. He was boxing out of Chadwell. So I had moved to Billericay, done my first year as a schoolboy, and then got knocked out in the finals of the first round by a boy that was at the club I just left. So it's brutal. At that age, it was brutal.
When you say knocked out, what?
No,
Stoppage or you just been out the
I'd never been stopped. I'd never been stopped.
Just out the competition.
Just out of the competition, yeah. Like,
so what was that like then? Your first proper loss, and it was very early on.
I just didn't get. I just moved on. I went out that night. Played out with my mates. I got dropped home, got my bike out, and then went out with my mates. And that like didn't happen.
Yeah.
Because in between me and my friends, we didn't all do boxing. Me doing boxing was random to them. So I had a life outside and away from it. So when I was like, oh, I'm a bit upset there, or that didn't go how I planned, I just went out with my mates and just went to be a kid again, because none of it mattered. So you could just live these two different parallel lives, and that's probably what coasted me through. Because when I was with boxing people or in the gym, I could go 100%, because it was only for that duration of time.
Yeah.
And I could come out of that environment and just be turned down 10 notches.
No, that's good to have that switch on and off, because a lot of people would eat themselves up a little bit. Certainly with being their first loss, but it's good that you would just be able to, look, I'll dust myself down, I'll go again, I'm going to switch it off. I'm with my mates now, I'm going to go and do it.
Yeah, I was 11.
Yeah.
So it weren't like, my dad always said to me, he was like, you're going to have loads of fights, you're probably not going to win them all. You're going to have a million spars, you're probably not going to win them all or do well in them all. You just always got to move on to the next one, and it is what it is. And I've always been like that. I've never so after that minors, I was obviously still at Billericay. I got to 2 semi-finals, back to back, to the first year and the second year, which was such a big step up. Because then I thought, in my head, I was like, oh, I'm just an Eastern Counties boxer, like that's just is what it is, I'm not that good. And then I had big jump of improvement. And then I was that good. And I could beat the boys in the counties, and I could get through that really easily. I remember I beat a boy the last year, he was like 15-0. And we met in the Eastern Counties final, and everyone's like, this kid's 15-0, he's gonna be decent.
Yeah.
But I never thought no thing of it, because I was like, this is what it is. And I beat him and then moved through, and then done all right in the competition, and started to like build my own little name for myself, breaking into them competitions. And then as a junior, I stepped up again and got to 2 national finals that time. So then I made a bit more of but I was always consistent.
Yeah.
After that.
Well, like you said, you always medalled, and sometimes it wasn't the medal that you wanted. Did you still have that same attitude that you had as an 11-year-old, that is what it is, I'll dust myself off and I'll go and...
The more I got exposed to it, the more I just wanted everything.
Yeah.
And it was always, I set myself so many goals in front of me that I needed to do. So I was like, I got to them 2 semi-finals, and then all the boys that I thought I was as good as, or I thought I'll be as good as you, or anything like that, they was winning, and they was getting England vests, and they was doing this and they was doing that, and I was like, oh, I don't want to be left out, like I want to do that as well. So that was kind of my next. I was like, I don't care how I do it. I was like, I am going to break on that England team. Like me and Frankie Woods, we'd be driving back from somewhere and we'd go, Dad, I get an England vest. I will wear it to school under my school shirt. Like that was how big it was. Like when we was that age, we was like, that is what we were so driven on doing. And then within a year, I had accomplished it. I'd got to the final. So then I was like the second best in the country, not tied third or anything like that. So then I got opportunity to be on the team, and I broke onto the team that way, and then kind of rid it out as long as I was an amateur for.
So you mentioned before you were at West Ham. Again, how did that come about? So you'd left Sabah St Mary's to go to Billericay facilities and sort of new challenges and things. What was the change to go to West Ham?
I was getting a bit frustrated down Billericay. I've always been very understanding of boxing. I've always seen it in a different way, and what I have found has been best for me is I need to just be kind of left to creatively do what I think is right. Because it usually instinctively plays out pretty good. All I just need to be is kind of mentally pushed in a similar direction, or just given a tip. I don't need step that foot there, step this foot there, throw that punch there. I have that understanding. So sometimes when I was getting fed that over and over at that age, I was just getting frustrated by it. Because I was like, no, that's not right. And I've never been shy of saying to a
What you
coach
feel,
or
yeah.
to a trainer if they're trying to teach something, going, I think that's no good. I would do this, this, this. At that age, now I understand it. If I was training a kid and he was telling me, well, I think what you think is bollocks, I would be annoyed.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I was just so brave in saying what I thought and being quite stubborn in, I just won't do that then, I'll do what I want to do. But I've always done that, and it's kind of let me be creatively, have control over it. So I moved to West Ham anyway, and I needed to become like a little bit horribler and a little bit nastier and a little bit more aggressive in what I could do. I was great skillfully, but I had no anger, I had no spitefulness, I had no go. I was just good. I had a good jab. I could lead hook everyone and their mother because I was 7 foot tall compared to all the kids. We was all skinny and like, doing the vest, don't even touch the sides, and you're wearing the smallest vest. That's what we was. So it was just great technique and skill at that age, and that was what it was on. Went to West Ham and like really started to find other gears and like a different mentality and understanding that just because of the way the coaching was there. It was so hard, and they were so tough on everyone, and even if you were sparring a kid that wasn't that good, he was hard, and they'd still make that kid try and take your head off for 5 rounds of sparring and then throw another kid in and then until you broke. So you were so used to being broken down there that being broken didn't feel like a bad thing, because you was just used to being cooked in the oven, good or bad. That was the training that we went through at that age.
Why did you choose West Ham? Why did you think West Ham was where that used the word dog would come out when you had that fight?
It was like looking for a new football team. I had like called up a load of places, a load of gyms, and was like, oh, I'm looking to move club. I'd love to come down, just like spar some of your lads, like train, see if I like it. Booked in like a few clubs that I could, like my dad would agree to drive me to, and like things like that. I went to West Ham first, and like I said to you earlier, it was a graveyard when I was there. There wasn't no one there. Like the club was going for a bit of a pit of a time, but it just felt so like right. I knew the trainers on the circuit. My dad and my mum are from the area, so they was comfortable in the area. They was comfortable with the people. They had known the trainers and known the people, so it was like it didn't feel like going into a new place. And I knew the history of what had happened there. So I was like, they've made champions before, many champions. They're meant to be this big London powerhouse. There's still got to be some quality here, and there weren't a lot of kids, so I got all the time.
Yeah, it's
so
perfect.
Which is
a
perfect.
Club like that, yeah.
I managed to get load of time, and they would always get spar from other places. And over the year, like the first year I was there, the club probably tripled in size because everyone was performing and the training was reflecting on what the kids was doing, and people just wanted to be a part of it. I don't know, like before COVID time at West Ham, if any of the boys that are watching this was down there, they'll know it was a dream place to be. It was brilliant. Like you'd have 4 rings sparring all at the same time, different weights, but all good quality, and just kids going to war on like a Wednesday night at 9 o'clock in a freezing cold gym. Just going to war, and then everyone else doing the groundwork, and then on the bag, screaming, shouting, hollering. Like that was an environment that people just loved and just flocked to.
How long was you at West Ham for?
Juniors, 3 years.
3 years.
3 years, I'd say, yeah.
So within that 3 years, did you get out what you
wanted? Yeah. I wouldn't be here doing what I'm doing now if I hadn't. I've always took stuff along the way, and I've always been willing to change. I'm never like stubborn on nothing works forever, and I've learnt different things over the years, and it's all mental things, and you're just trying to even if it ain't directed at you, just try and learn something from a situation. Maybe that someone's in at the club, or I'm watching him spar, he don't do that right, that's happening because of that, or I probably shouldn't do that, that's probably not good. Or I think if he does that, dun. And I used to feed people advice, because I did understand boxing. So I would go to one of the lads, I reckon if you done this or that, boom, 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 just try it, see how it goes. And then it would go all right, and they'd come back to me and go, I tried that, and it was all right. And that was that's how it came about of me becoming a bit of a captain.
Yeah.
So I was willing to always offer myself out to, if they said, I think, can you spar with this boy, help him out, please? I'd go, whatever you want me to do, I'd help him out. And I'd help him out every time. Maybe sometimes it worsened my mentality a little bit when I got a little bit older, because then I come sparring, become a little bit dull. But I've come out of that now as I've grown up and become a pro. But that experience really helped me understand people, boxing, in so many different levels of it, especially at like 15, 16, 17.
Yeah.
When a lot of kids in the gym ain't learning. What they're doing is they've got their first pump of testosterone and they're going down there and they're trying to hit the bag as hard as they can, as fast as they can, for as long as they can, until they're knackered. And they go home, eat, and they do the same thing the next day. That wasn't my mentality of doing it. I used to want to talk to people, ask people questions, and try and feed off of everything around me. I always knew I would work hard. Working hard is a standard thing in sports. But could you understand what was kind of in between the ropes a little bit more than just getting in there and just hammer and tong until you're both tired, then you just hold on, and then you're going to come out and go, I've done so well there, I feel so tired now.
I'm fair play to you for obviously sort of stepping up to be that sort of thing, you know, the captain for these young boxers. And because I don't think you see that enough nowadays. You don't see that one individual stepping forward in the gym. It's a lot run by the coaches, maybe as it should, but because of their experiences. But like you said, you need that sort of diamond in the rough to come through and go, no, I see it like this, and I see it like that.
There has to be a bridge.
Yeah.
Because everyone in the gym wants the same goal. But sometimes the coaches are too stubborn and it has to be their way or the highway. And sometimes the kid can't do that or don't need that. And you've just kind of got to find the sweet spot in the middle to get the best out of the pairing. You can work a kid to the bone, but he might not perform well. So you've got to play in between the lines of it, and people were so different. And that was such a hard environment. Kids, so many mental stories in that place of what was just like night to night that shaped a lot of kids. Say, like I was saying in like next door earlier, there's a few of us now that are doing all right, that come out of that time.
Yeah.
Like there's a few of us that, and we're all in the similar spots. And like I'm with Giorgio now in the stable, so he'd come towards the last couple of years I was there. So he's come from that time. Tom Whelan's come from that time. Frankie Woods has come from that time. There's a few of us that have like still kept the ball rolling, and you don't see that as much. Not with 3-4 lads that are actually that are still keeping it going. It dies out by seniors.
Yeah.
You have a couple, or you have a bad use and you pack it in, or job gets in the way, this gets in the way. A few of us have actually still managed to keep the ball rolling a little bit, which is just cool to see.
Yeah, massive, and it's all credit to yourselves and that you've dug in and you've set yourself a goal, and like you said, you've gone for it. Even going back to your early days of, I'll get an England vest, like I'll wear that to school. You've sort of, whatever goal you've set, you've made sure you've given 110% to go and get it. So fair play to you, mate. You just said earlier on there that, you know, you're always finished on the medal table, but you finally won a national title. And that was with West Ham. What was that like? It was,
you know what? It was such like it just ended so quickly. Because it was in I won it in like the worst time. I went just before COVID, in that just little grey period. So I didn't get from it what I thought I was going to get from it, because nothing happened. And by the time everything come back round, time moved on, and it don't wait for no one. So the next lot are through. Do you know what I mean? But I beat the boy in the final that beat me the year previous in the final. So I had like kind of writ some wrongs right, and because I knew the year before, I was like, oh, I can beat him. Like that isn't him doing good. That's me not actually being great. Do you know what I mean? And that was kind of, I was never nervous when it come and rolled round, and when the tournament tree was going, and I was like, I'm going to meet this kid in the final again. Like I never thought, oh, he beat me last year, this is going to be. I thought, oh no, I can like I needed another chance. I only wanted one more chance, because I was going to make that chance that chance right, and I did. I managed to win it. 56 kilos. That was. I'm nowhere near 56 kilos now. But yeah, it was brilliant to win that. It's brilliant.
Yeah. And sort of, like you said, did it sort of give you that sense of pride of, yeah, like I finally achieved it? And did it cast, playing devil's advocate, as Doug would always say to people, but did it cast a bit of doubt in your minds of going back to, I should have won a lot more of these?
Yeah.
Or was it sort of?
No, because I always knew I could have been better.
Yeah.
I always knew I could have been better, but I also understood when I was younger, I didn't take it as seriously as other boys. My family wasn't into it like other kids' families was. They would go to their boxing tournament and they'd have 200 people there. They'd have 30 kids out from their club. They've all been trained properly. When I went to Billericay, it would literally, by the time you get to a national round, it would be me, my mum and dad, 2 coaches, George Liddard's mum and dad, and if Frankie Woods was there, his mum and dad and Frank. So they're cheering for us against the other side. If he's from like Pinewood, got 300 people around the ring. It was daunting, do you know what I mean? It was a daunting experience.
Yeah.
At that age, all you need is boost. So
Massively.
it doesn't matter on who's doing better or worse in the fight. It matters about who for 3 rounds can swing their arms and go at that age. And I never had that kind of, maybe if I had 200 people standing behind me and I was a killer in the gym, but I wasn't. I was a bit of a smart lad. I boxed in like a nice area, so the kids weren't great.
Yeah.
I used to beat the kids up at the gym because they wasn't all going to the tournaments, whereas the kids from Pinewood or Repton and that, they had a team of 30 in that same stage. So they're all sparring each other every week. So they're all sharp as iron. We didn't have that luxury of being as sharp as them, if that makes sense. So that's when I started to understand. I was like, oh, I need to be like around other good people to be good. I can't just be like one good person in my club. Like, you know, you outgrow.
Yeah.
That's kind of what started to happen. I started to outgrow, or I felt like that anyway. And once you feel like that, you have to move your time on, didn't you?
Just move on, yeah. So you had that time at West Ham. What age did you make that decision to, I'm sort of not done with the amateurs, but yeah, I've finished the amateurs, I'm going to turn professional?
It was a really weird period. I knew I hated this school, I hated college, didn't enjoy it. I just wanted to box, and I was just going to do that. And I was like, I'm at least going to try, because if I don't try, I'm going to do something I don't like anyway. So what's the point in not trying? Because I'm going to have to do that anyway. If I don't try, I have to do that. So I might as well try and have to do that anyway.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I was very lucky. Like, I worked in here for a while.
Yeah.
And like, it kept me a job that I had to come to, but I was still in the world. So I stopped when I was 18, boxed as an amateur. But I was sparring at Mark's gym with Harvey Horn at the time. That's how small I was. And kept going back for sparring. I was still at West Ham at the time. I'd go Mark's in the morning, and then I'd go home, and then I would go to West Ham in the evenings. But then I started to favour the professional training, because it was so different to amateur training, but I liked that more.
Yeah.
Because it was a bit more technical based, it was a bit slower, a bit more longer, wasn't as harari-rari, it was more calmer, and like, I was learning more, a bit more of my environment. So I used to come to West Ham and I used to just plod about and be like, I started to fall out of love with it, because I was loving something else. And I had about a year in Mark's gym, like literally just turning up and going like, can I train today? Can I mix in with yous? Some days I'd be lucky and get pads with Mark. Some days I had to just go in the bag. Other days I wasn't doing nothing. I had to just make myself useful and just be there.
Yeah.
And I'd done that for so long that Mark ended up just was like, all right, I'll have you around, basically. He let me into the fraternity, which is good.
How did you go about going to Mark's stable?
Just got called in for sparring. Just lucky enough to be a sparring partner.
For
Harvey. I was just lucky enough, and don't know why, that they would keep calling me back for sparring, and then I just made myself a part of the furniture.
Yeah.
And then I went to Mark to try and turn over well before I should have. But at the time, I hadn't boxed for a year. I think I should try and be a pro now. But I wasn't ready. I was nowhere near ready. I was nowhere near ready. But at the time, you think you're there. It is a bit of a problem with prospects nowadays that I see coming through. You like just have a year, like just go and like spar pros, be in that environment. You
know what it's like.
You can level up behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like you haven't got to try and do it and let it go wrong 3 fights in, and you're like, oh well, what should I do now? Like there's no need for it. Just
yeah. I think going back to when you're saying you were working here, I actually remember having a conversation with you. You were on the desk doing the weeding stuff for the printing, and you said, I was like, oh Finn, what's happening? You're turning pro and that, and you're like, I'm just training when the time's right, so I'm just ticking over. I'm not sort of ready yet. So I remember that chat you're saying, but I'm like an impatient person, so I just kept asking like, Finn, what's happening? You're going pro, and you just kept saying to me, when the time's right, I'm just ticking over, I'm just training. I was so confident that I was getting there. Yeah, but fair play to you, fair play to you definitely, because like you just said, there are a lot of prospects and there are a lot of people that go turn pro, and you're like, oh,
yeah,
is that the right thing? Like, is that what you want to do? I'd obviously never be against anybody because it's their career, it's their life, but yeah, I do get what you mean with that. But did Mark, did he support you in that decision as well? Was he like, yeah, take your time?
Yeah, it was his idea. He knocked me back. So I was like, oh, I want to turn over Mark, I'd like to do my trainer, like kind of with all confidence in the world.
Yeah.
And he straight away went shot down. No, wrong idea, terrible idea. Give yourself another year, 16 months, and at the time I was like, why would he say that? Does he think da-da-da-da? But no,
he fights in now.
He knows. I put faith in. I put trust in what he thought, because I respected what he had done and what he thinks. So I said to my dad, I was like, give it the year. I was like, let's just find a way and make it work. Give me a chance. And I grabbed it with both hands, and I improved so much. Then he let me turn over with him, and like for him, I get it now that he has to put his name to me as a product of him.
Yeah.
So if I get rolled out too early and I'm shit, he's got to be the person that stands in the corner.
Yeah.
But he trusted me enough and put a bit of faith in me that, no, with a bit of time, kid, you'll be a good product. And he's always given me that chance, and I've been very lucky to now 8 fights in, people are seeing what he saw when I was 19, 20 years old and hadn't boxed for a couple of years and wasn't at the front of the pack leading, but now I'm kind of like slowly overlapping and slowly running around the track a little bit, that people were seeing what he saw.
Yeah, and I'm guessing within that time, within Mark's stable of the fighters that he had at the time, you certainly picked up some valuable experience to take you over, obviously with Harvey Horn. I know Billy Joe Saunders was there at the time, training for this bout, certainly with Canelo as well.
Yeah.
Did you pick up any knowledge from them guys along with Mark?
That was the best thing about to go to the gym. I was already up, even if I didn't train. I had to just listen to what was going on in the room, because I was always very adaptive to listening and taking on board. And like I was saying earlier, like when someone says something, actually, is that good for me? Is that bad for me? People are in a boxing gym always giving advice, always talking, always trying to teach lessons. You do that in sport naturally, whether you're a coach or a performer, is can you see the lesson and can you see if that can reflect on you, or can you remember it?
Yeah.
They used to say in like England, back in the day, people would go to a gym and leave their brain at the door. They would just come in, do what they're told, robot about for 2 hours, get a sweat on, and then pick their brain up when they get out the door. But I thought, no, there's so much here right at my fingertips. All I've got to do is just, okay, remember that. Yeah, that's good. Take that on board. Yeah. Even if no one's not asked me to put my rear hand there or try this block or try that or sequence that together, I've seen it, or I've heard someone say it and go, oh yeah, no, I will try that actually. And then I've adapted it over a bit of time that I've been given with these 8 fights to kind of make my own style, of a bit of a blend, if that makes sense. I like to say I'm not really one old style. I'm a bit of a blend of here and there because I've seen so much.
You've seen so much, but that's good in a way, sort of thing, because it means you're always adapting. Yeah. You're almost, maybe the wrong thing to say is you're learning on the job sort of thing. But yeah, it's good that you're adapting constantly because you get some fighters who become, not so much early on, but a lot later on. Certainly by the time you get to 8, they're stale. They're the same bland. Here he comes. You know what you're getting from him.
Yeah.
But with you, like you said, you're always looking to mix it up because you're picking different things up.
I'm always, and that is a cool thing about Marks anyway. We all are.
Yeah.
We're all very different. We've all got our own unique blends and unique styles. They're crossover and we do similar things because Mark teaches the same. He teaches all the same lessons. It's what you want to use in your style or what you don't want to use in your style. Do you know what I mean? So you're picking things up, or if he's speaking to Joel or Georgia, he go, Finn, listen. So he's not speaking to me and telling me, he's just letting me know I'm going to say something to Giorgio. He's inviting you to just listen to it. Okay, I will listen to that. Does that affect me? Oh, right, he might be saying that because I should probably do that as well. Yeah. And I'll go back on the bag and I'll do that. Or I'll spar the next day and go, oh, yeah, no, he asked me about doing that, I'll try and do that. It's about making effort to try.
Yeah, not being sort of stubborn in your way of,
nah.
This is how I box sort of
this
thing.
Is what I do. I don't mix it, I don't do this. And it's good to always change, and because you're only going to grow.
Yeah, definitely. You're only going to learn from it. It's either going to work or it's not. It's no harm in trying, innit?
And even if you have this one style that you're like, this is how I box like Canelo, you're probably not getting beat anyway.
Yeah, that's me.
But you know what I mean? Like, people are so rooted in their way of like, I box like this, I do that, I do this. Yeah. Probably I'm losing at some point anyway.
Yeah, 100%.
So you just take on as much as you can, and it was hard. There was hard times in that. Like, I was at the bottom of the totem pole of fighters, you mentioned, probably even when I first turned over. But I was okay at being at the bottom. Because I'd rather be at the bottom of a totem pole that's this tall than at the top of a totem pole that's that tall.
Yeah.
That's how I looked at it. So I thought, I'm only going to gain. So I can just listen. And I had the ability to be able to take stuff on and do it my own way.
No, fantastic, mate. So, take us to that night, your pro debut. I'm guessing it was your call.
Your call job, standard your call job.
Standard your call, but it is the home of boxing.
Yeah. It's become my home recently, to be fair. I've had 6 fights out there now. No, 5 fights out there now.
It is certainly iconic.
I'm very familiar.
So, first bout, professional bout. What was that like? Certainly compared to amateurs. So
I hadn't boxed for a couple of years, so I was just like, everyone had told me, everyone just said, you never get another debut, just enjoy it. Everyone never get another debut, just enjoy it. And I thought, I don't know what they mean by that. Like, I know you only get one debut, but what's the difference? What I did learn was, it is just enjoy it and you will win. There's no pressure on trying to win. It's your debut. Just go and enjoy it, go and look good, be relaxed, try the things you've been working on in the gym. All these things that I'm saying sound so generic. But if you actually do take that into the bat, you'll win the fight. You see kids lose their debut or have bad debuts because they've tried too hard. Too hard. And what usually happens is, with these journeymen, they've got a fight next week or the week after. They don't need some 18-year-old coming in wildly, headbutting him or knocking him out or causing him damage because he wants to box next weekend. But what that journeyman can do is, he can either make that 18-year-old look very bad or iron him out. Do you know? So you see that every now and then your little 2-0 kid, little 3-0 kid gets done because you have not put as much respect on the journeyman's name as maybe you should have. And I learnt that getting to know journeyman and speaking to them and understanding the game. You got to, at the beginning, them first 4 fights, you have to understand the game. If you don't understand the game, you can very easily get swept.
They're like skills bouts, but professional style almost, aren't they?
There's still danger. You've still got little gloves on, you've still got no head guard on.
Yeah.
But as long as, if you've got a good trainer anyway, you do the things you've been working on in the gym, you stay relaxed, you enjoy it, you'll come through them tests. You're going to get tested. Things are going to happen. You're going to get punched in the face. You're going to feel tired. You might get a cut or a little bruise, but they're just tests.
Yeah.
Are you going to pass them tests, or are you going to think this is too hard and fail? That's what you're learning. I'm still learning that now. I'll learn that from until hopefully I've had 40 fights as a pro. That's what you want. You want all the fights you can. You want to always get through the tests. For these early tests, that's what they are. But you still got to go through them.
100%. So Sunday night, it was Sunday, wasn't it?
Saturday,
because there was 2 shows, wasn't it?
There's a Friday and a Saturday.
Oh, it was Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
So you were on a Saturday show, your call.
Yeah.
8 bouts, first 8 rounder, wasn't it?
First 8 rounder, yeah.
And obviously you got the cup, but how did it go other than that?
No,
What does the other guy look like?
Do you know what I thought? He had a big mass under his eye after that 2 rounds. I'm thinking, I'm going to get that nice and big and I'm going to pop that wide open. Lovely. So I'm whacking around the sides. Geezer was hard as nails. I have to give it to him. He was battered and bruised, but I thought he was going to go a few times. And if anyone knows my boxing style, I'm not a big puncher. I've only really just started putting combinations together and getting creative with it and putting them in phases and things like that. And I am seeing a difference in it, but I just need to keep doing it more to be able to get people out of there, I think. I'm great at fighting in one phases and short exchanges and moving and holding off and numbing and another exchange. I'm not as great as when I need to grind the gears out to get someone out of there. That's my bit where I need to improve at. But I know that's where But
again, you can see that and know, right, 9 fights, do something different, because I seen that in the 3rd round. It was the 3rd, wasn't it? You nearly stopped him.
Nearly in the 3rd.
Yeah.
Nearly in the 5th. And a little bit in the 8th. So there was 3 moments where I had cracked him a little bit and could have gone, but I just don't have the same quality when I'm letting my hands go at that, when I have the same quality as when I'm comfortable with my own range and my own spaces in the ring where I want to be. So I'm learning, I'm trying to learn. I'm not a schoolboy when it comes to that phase, and I accept that I'm not a schoolboy, so I'm open and willing to learn anything I'm taught and take on and hopefully grow that part of my repertoire.
So do you think from 1 to 8, that, like we said before, you're learning on the job? Do you think you've improved? And
I think round to round, I think honestly, round to round, every fight is better. People can say it's better, but what is good for me is opposition is always better.
Yeah.
And the opponent's always better. They're not massive step ups where you're drowning and it's like, oh, this is easy, this is like looking crazy. Because that's not what you need. Them tests and them lessons need to get harder every time.
Yeah. What was it? 20 odd bouts?
18 fights. Yeah.
18,
so I fought a few guys that have, most of my 8 fights are positive record guys, come to win guys, 50-50 guys. Like, you get the odd journeymans here and there, but you still learn and you're still willing to take them off them what you can. And I've enjoyed the step ups and grinding through it a little bit, and I'm starting to learn more about myself. I'm starting to learn more about what maybe is on the front of the cover isn't how some things always unfold in real time, and you're learning to differentiate between social media world and real life. There's also something, because everyone looks good on a video, but you might go spar them or you might fight them, you might do this and that, and do you know what? It's actually not, it's always cracked up to be. Do you know what I mean? So that's always a fun experience, learning and getting through that. But yeah, God willing, I've put myself in a good position. I'm starting to put myself in a good position to keep excelling. And I'd like to say people are starting to notice what I'm doing, which is nice.
Definitely, it's just certainly what you want. So what does the future hold for Finn James then?
I'm hoping it's just long and lasting, and I stay safe, and I just keep enjoying it as I always have really enjoyed it. I've never put a load of pressure on myself. I've given myself goals, and I've never slacked, and I've never negotiated with myself. I've always done what I've tried to do, and I've never give up on what I've tried to do. So I won't start doing that anytime soon. But I'm just there for opportunities that come along, whatever me, and I'm lucky to have a pretty good team around me. I've got a good setup. Mark looks after me brilliantly, very personally. I'd like the managers, Strike Sport, they all work right on top of each other. So there's always stuff coming through and things like that. I'm sure the opportunities are just going to get bigger, but you have to rise to the occasion, I guess, don't you? And you have to, if your managers and your team believe you can they back you, you got to do it anyway, so you might as well back yourself.
100%.
And you can only battle this game head on, but you got to use your head a little bit as well.
Yeah.
And understand what is right, when is right. Understand timings, understand your own body, understand that in this game as well, not everyone's looking after you. That's a really brutal thing. Not everyone's looking after you. They're going to act like they might look after you, but they're just batting you up for a bigger ball swing. They want to hit a home run. So sometimes you think you're the bat, other times you're the ball. You've got to kind of pick and choose what's best, I guess.
No, that's definitely true, mate. So you going back to your amateur days, you and Frankie Wood set yourself a goal of, right, in a year's time, I'm gonna get an England vest. What goal have you set yourself in the pros? Where do you want to see yourself in a year's time?
End of next year. I'd like to be what I'm on like a average 4 fights a year streak. So, but we'd like to be 12, 13 and 0. First title picked up, I'd love to think. And I'd be breaking in consistent 12-round fights. And that's when really it starts to get interesting. So yeah, I'd just like to be still moving on my great trajectory, hopefully picked up a first title, and about 12, 13 fights, looking to set another 7-fight plan in front of us and get to 20 and move to that spot. But we take every day, day by day, and just, God willing, I'll get there alive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's all we can hope for. And you look too far in the future, you'll forget what's happening in the present. So you take every opportunity one at a time, and you got to get there, ain't you? But you can only get there as fast as the opportunities are coming.
100%. And I believe you'll get there. You've got a great attitude, great mentality, and going back to your amateur days again, when you set yourself a goal, you go and get it. So I really believe that this time next year, you'll have a lot more.
Maybe my main goal,
belt and a belt.
When I come in here my first time when I was 8 years old, Ken promised me that I'll be so good one day, I'll have a picture of me in here with my name signed. That is what he said when I was 8. Didn't know I was going to be working for him about 10 years after that, and he's going to be paying me each month. Yeah. But yeah, maybe that'd be my goal to cement
But now you're on his podcast.
There we go, yeah. Big up Ken. People don't know. You done the podcast with Ken, didn't you?
Yeah, he was the first one. He had to be.
People don't know that Mr. Boxfit.
No, they don't.
They don't know Mr. Boxfit.
They don't.
Everyone asks me for Doug. Doug on a Scasser.
Doug on a Scasser. Yeah, but Doug's the face. Doug sort of is Mr. Boxfit as well, but he's the sort of face, and Ken's sort of in the background nowadays. But yeah,
we had a brilliant time working in it.
Yeah, we did, to be fair.
Yeah, it was a brilliant time.
Even though you were next door, but we'd always passed.
We always had a good laugh in here. This was one of the best jobs. Like, for where I was at that time in my life, like, boxing had quieted down, but this kept me in love with it. And I've always loved clothes and good style and things like that. So to get into, like, you're only a part of a small phase of it next door, but I was a part of something, and we worked on good kits and things like that, and it built a great relationship. Like, of all you guys down here, I can come in whenever I want to and speak to the guys, and I know everyone in here, and it's been it was brilliant to be wrapped up in here for the whirlwind for a few years. Yeah, it is nice, and you know, I'm sure you'll agree, we're nice, honest people. What you see is sort of what you get. We're not claiming to be something that we're not. No, and that's the best. Especially like. Back in the day, there's not a lot of boxing shops. No, there isn't. Coming to Boxfit's the only shop where 9 out of the 10 kids that come in take a picture before they come in. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't get a lot of shops that everyone goes, I'm going to buy trainers or boots. I'm going to JD. But I'm going to take a picture before I go in. Like, there's not many environments like that. But down here, when I was, especially with work next door, like, a kid that comes in at 10, you treat him like he's world champion. 100%. Yeah, and that is why everyone come here, because you was treated like world champion. It's a shame, yeah. And that's what was so great about kind of being wrapped up in here and coming shopping here as a kid. And my dad brought me here. I used to get all my gloves, all my boots, and you wouldn't come here a lot Unless your mum and dad had a load of money, it's an expensive day out.
Yeah,
you should
yeah.
do, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, we try and look after people as best as we can with discounts.
Of course. But every kid, they want the newest gloves,
Yeah,
don't they?
Boots,
They need a groin guard that matches, don't fit them. The head guard with the cheeks, but they only need an Adidas one or something. But they want everything, and I need the newest boots I'm still at that now. The newest Nike boots that come out, I have to just get them because I'm like, oh, it's new, isn't they? I've got a million boots in my room.
You just pick which one, 1, 2, 3.
I know, because I only wear one pair. Once I've worn that pair and I've moved on to the next, I'll just wear that pair until they're worn. I've got the grey and white little Nike ones with red tick.
Oh, you won them at the weekends, yeah.
Brilliant, love them. But I'll just move on to another pair of Nike ones, and then that'll be it.
Well, you know where to come, lad, to get them.
Sure, that's hey, since you're 8 years old. We was next door, and it was like.
Yeah, we've come a long way, but we can only be where we are for people like yourself.
Yeah,
we're built off our hard work, but also the loyalty and
give us kids a chance.
Yeah.
No one else would have hired us lot.
Yeah.
We was just 18-year-olds, 17-year-olds that couldn't even drive half of us, but we could walk or we could get the bus or something.
Yeah.
And we could come and print T-shirts and try and sell boxing clubs to people, and it works.
Yeah. Makes us into the memory short of our today a little bit, doesn't it? So learns his life lessons.
Oh, well, a lot of you lads, users growing up growing up. So you're working with people that are 10 years old, and they've got so many more experiences. And we're all bantering, and you grew up in here, is what I would say. You had to grow up in here, because it could have been harsh.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
You used to just wind each other up.
We still do that now. But it's character building, isn't it? Like
that's what you used to say.
You've got to be thick-skinned, but you certainly got to be it's good character building. But now, Finn, I really appreciate you coming on, lads. I really appreciate you coming on, and I wish you all the best for your pro career. We're certainly following you.
Yeah.
You'll see me down. You'll achieve those goals next year, so keep smashing away at them, lads.
Chipping away.
Fantastic.
Top man.
Thanks very much.
Thank
Guys,
you.
really hope you enjoyed that. If you don't follow Finn, give him a follow on his social media. Follow his impressive professional career. He's a great lad, and we wish him all the best. If you don't already, please like and subscribe on the YouTube channel, and give us a nice rating wherever you pick up your podcast there. Tune in next week. We've got another fantastic guest on the podcast. Cheers, guys.